I'm back with another coffee video. If you follow me, my shaving videos, you knew it was going to happen. Conversation came up on the Shaving Cadre coffee area about metal versus paper filters. And just by reading about the differences, I always figured that paper filters is what I would enjoy better. What you read about is that the metal filter lets through more coffee oils, which gives you a richer, darker flavor, but then can also because of that, make some of the tasting notes kind of muddled together, whereas a paper filter filters out those oils and gives you a cleaner, crisper tasting coffee, where maybe the tasting notes are a little separated out, but it's not as strong as intense. So that sounded good to me. So since I started doing my own pour overs, I've been using the V60 with a paper filter. Early on, long story, but I ended up, I got one of these cheap. This is a plastic cup that came with a Bodum pour over with a metal filter, and I have never used it because I didn't realize it was going to come with a metal filter. I got paper filters to use with it. Don't fit very well, and I just switched to the V60 anyway. The other interesting thing that I just found today, just doing a quick, again, search between paper and metal, some of the things they bring up is cleanup. A paper filter, you just grab it, throw it out, rinse it, you're done. You know, a metal filter can take a little bit more cleanup. Doesn't seem like it's too bad to me. Interesting though, is I didn't do more research than seeing this in one spot, but it said if you're concerned about your cholesterol level, the coffee oils have been known to stimulate LDL, or the bad type of cholesterol production in the body. So take it as what you will, or do more research, but from that aspect, it's a little healthier to use the paper filters. Anyway, I'm going to do 2 pour overs, one metal, one paper. Going to use the same grind size, the same ratios, and I'll be back to tell you what I think. Whoosh, I'm back. So I've got 2 brewed mugs of coffee. I should have mentioned too that a couple caveats. And this is by no way scientific or 100% equal comparison. I would have used the same type of brewer and put a metal filter and then a paper filter in it to be exact. But like I said on my other videos, I'm just a normal dude exploring coffee. So I want to know, in my world, what makes a difference and how do I taste it? So these are the 2 brewers that I have, even though they're shaped a little bit differently. I know that makes a difference. And what was interesting is this brewer also, it's got a metal filter and then one little tiny drain hole. I thought that was gonna slow down the brew a lot. It did not. So, and the other thing that I failed to mention that's obviously a difference when you use a metal filter versus a paper is that it lets some of the fines through, so it's not filtering out the oils, but it's also not filtering out the fines. And so I poured it from this container into the same mug, and you can see there's some of the sludge, what have you, at the bottom there, that I don't prefer. Now, if it makes the coffee taste 100% better, then you just don't drink the very bottom of it. I know it doesn't bother some people, and obviously if you use a metal filter or a French press or whatever, that's just part of the deal. And to let you know, we're back to using Burke's beans. Not a sponsor, it's just this Sumatra is what I used in a lot of my other tests, so I'm very familiar with it. He's a sweetheart of a guy, so I just thought, I'd stick with something I know. All right, so the paper filter. So that's what I'm used to. I know this coffee. Some citrus notes, and then it evolves into like a dark chocolate, cocoa, that type of a thing. I let them both cool to warm. They're not hot, but they're also not room temperature. They're a little warm still. Well, all right. So that's interesting. There is quite the difference between the two. As I said, we use the same beans, same grind, same ratio. I used 20 grams of beans to 300 grams of water. It's a little bit, normally I use 16 or 17 grams of water with the pour over. I just shrunk it down to the recipe I use in the AeroPress. Anyway, difference is that this one, that's interesting. So the metal filter, it still starts with citrus, but the citrus is a little bit spikier, more intense. Let's see. So I'd almost say, you know, and it's not like biting into orange or a lime or lemon or anything, but this one, the citrus I'd more associate with the fruit. This one I'd more associate it with the rind, the outside. It's just a little bit more in your face. While the chocolate cocoa notes on this, if I'm thinking about it, that's what I get. On this, maybe I just have it in my head that it should be a little bit more muddled, but it does almost have, again, what I call a cardboard note. I'm sure if you're a coffee taster, you call it something else. But just, yeah, that's interesting. The biggest difference is in the citrus, and it's more intense in this one, but the finish I like much better in the paper one. It's a little bit smoother, and this one just, to me, it's almost like the difference between a natural finished, where you kind of get that earthy funk to it, which I don't like. So good on me. Paper filter for me. Do what you want. I encourage you to try the difference, because as I'm finding through all these tests, I just assume differences, and it's interesting to try it out and see what the difference really is. I'll catch you next time.